And okay. Huh?
No.
God, help us. Amen.
Guys, we are live.
We're live?
We're live?
Yep. Sorry.
Oh, we're live, I guess.
Oh, yeah, because I signed it into your account on here.
Wait, so we are live?
Yes, we are.
How come it's not popping up? Technology.
Okay, but if you sign into my account, that shouldn't matter.
Yeah, I signed
it. It shouldn't automatically go live once you sign into my account.
It says Belingle. I see Belingle right here.
No.
You see me right now?
I see that it's signed into the top chat.
Really?
Well, yeah, but...
Guys, we are live.
Alright, hang on.
Oh.
We're live?
Yes, we are.
Let me check one thing
We'll
here.
go to the actual stream.
Okay.
Yep, we're there. Okay, well,
Oh, yeah.
started,
I guess
Josh.
we are live.
Get us started.
Okay, I guess we can't go with that option. Alright. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Belingle Live. I'm Josh.
I'm Ben. We're sharing one mic, sorry.
We welcome you all to our live stream, and we hope you have fun. And I wanted to say a big shout out to CJ for being our host who's keeping everything running. We'll call him the technical engineer for tonight. So, we want to start off right away with a big announcement. And that is, we are officially closing our YouTube channel, and this will be our last video as well as live stream. Sadly, we have been overruled by mean comments, and we're just not seeing the support. So we just want to say thank you for everything you've done for us, and we're going to be closing out. Any last thoughts, Ben?
I think you're full of crap.
No, psych, we're just kidding. No, we're not really closed down, but we do have a lot we want to talk about tonight. So tonight is kind of a reading your comments and kind of a little throwback today, and this is my first time hosting, so tonight I just wanted to go back in time, shall we? So let's start by going back a little bit, a year and a half ago with our first video. Do you remember that, Ben?
Our very first video.
Our very first video.
Yes. We did a tutorial. Lightroom tutorial, actually.
That is correct.
And actually, if he's watching right now, our friend was actually the one who we did the tutorial, like his picture was the one we actually did the tutorial with. So I don't know if he's watching, but if he is, you know who you are. But yeah, that was our first video. It was the tutorial, the Lightroom tutorial, on how we do our post-processing and all of that.
Long time ago. Well, it says over a year ago. And you remember, actually, I remember my first video that came out like a few weeks after that, where I was giving 3 tips for beginner photographers, which at the time I was still a beginner photographer. So, and then that happened, and that was nerve-wracking for me because I'd never been in a YouTube video before.
Yeah. And
of course, we were still pretty fresh at the time.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's a good days. And looking through the years, you know, leading up to now, we've got a bunch of good videos out. Our biggest sellout video. Our biggest sellout video. The #1 video that hit the internet like the storm.
Went slightly viral for us.
Slightly viral.
Yeah.
This is the video where you do your opinion between the D750 and the D850. Mm-hmm. What were your thoughts when you were making that video?
Well, the reality is I didn't think anything of it, really. You know, I thought we're just going to do this video. It's something that maybe people want to see. I don't know. And when we uploaded it initially, you know, we got a couple thousand views on it. We're like, all right, people are checking it out. That's good. We're happy about that, you know. But then, you know, after so much time, we ended up having like, what are we at now? Like 296,000 views, I think, or something on it. So I mean,
pretty close to that.
It absolutely blew up, and obviously we're very thankful that it did, and thankful for all the people that have watched the video, shared the video, all that. So thank you so much if you're one of those individuals. We really do appreciate it. But yeah, it blew up, and it was super exciting. It kind of was our breakthrough moment, like you said. And it was kind of what allowed us to get to where we're at today with over 1,800 subscribers right now. So that's pretty awesome, you know?
Mm-hmm. So that video both had a positive and negative side to it. And
as most videos do. Yeah.
What I kind of want to do now is read some of the comments that were coming off it, both good and bad, and I kind of want to get your reaction to it.
Okay, so live reaction to comments from this video, huh?
Alright, so we're going to start off with the mean side.
Okay.
So, one of them was, why do all these videos compare two products that are so different in every way? Why not do a video called Box Brownie versus Phase 1? Makes as much sense.
Okay, first of all, he spelled sense wrong. Secondly, for anybody who doesn't know, Phase 1 is a medium format, I believe it's medium format camera. Mm-hmm. Lots of megapixels. Like at one time it had the most megapixels for a medium format camera. I think it's like 100 megapixels or something insane like that. And so when he said Box Brownie versus Phase 1, he's comparing literally a box of brownies, you know, like the brownies, the instant brownies, if you will, to a Phase 1 camera. And he's going, oh, that's ridiculous. You know, why would you compare this? Well, the thing is, so many people have different tastes in cameras and different needs when it comes to cameras, right? And so while some people are going, this is a ridiculous comparison, the D750 has nothing to do or doesn't even come close to competing with the D850. And, you know, when they're saying stuff like that, it's like, okay, you have some valid points. I mean, they are two totally different cameras for two totally different purposes. Absolutely. We're not denying that. But that's the whole point of a comparison, right? Is to compare two totally different things. If you were comparing the same thing, then there's no point at all, you know?
Exactly.
Now, okay, I could understand if we were comparing the D850 versus the D3400, you know, a very entry-level DSLR, but the reality is both of them are full frame. Both of them have good or produce good quality images, you know, and both of them are fantastic cameras, you know? So Box Brownie versus Phase 1, that's what you want to call it, sure, but I don't know. I think it's helped a lot of people, you know, and that's not a bragging thing. It's just I can see that in some other comments as well. So,
of course, I think in the photography business, you're always going to have some sort of lopsided argument, you know, because personal preference between different brands, different models, different, you know, lenses and all that stuff. It's always going to be a big argument between who's right and who's not, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So here's some more mean comments. This review sucks. I can read everything you're yapping about, so do something constructive.
Okay, wait. He said, I can read everything you are yapping about. So, okay. Yeah, I won't read that word. But, okay, that's true. The video does, I'm assuming we're still talking about the D850 versus 750 video. Yeah. That's true to the most part. The first half of the video is indeed specs, read from the spec sheet. I mean, that's the point of that section. However, if you go to the next half of the section, which a lot of people apparently didn't do, you would see that I talk about, you know, why the D850, you know, is better than the D750 and vice versa. I give a lot of, you know, different information at the time. And look, you know what? I missed a lot of stuff and I recognize that. And, you know, that's, you know, you miss stuff, especially when there's so much you can cover, you know? So, is it really a problem? No, not really. And, I think it's so funny because YouTube culture, I think a lot of people feel entitled, you know, to your videos. Like if your video doesn't meet their standard or doesn't give the information that they want, even if they're a subscriber or not, they think that you're the worst human being on the planet and, you know, all this and that. But no, I mean, the thing is, that's how I wanted to do the review. Right. I thought it would be useful to people. Yes, the first part is specs, you're right. But at the end of the day, I did get more information than specs, so can't really complain in that capacity.
And I could also add, you know, there's also people's YouTube preference, you know, like video length. Like you could do a full 4-hour video just on talking about all the things there is to the camera, detail for detail. I mean,
yeah. Well, look at us right now. We're doing a live reading comments. I mean, you know.
So yeah, you can't really compare against that. See, only certain people would think a D750 is better. The only way if it is better is if you don't pay for the better features. So again, this is one of those things like, oh, everybody, it's always like, I feel like it's one of those lopsided things like, oh, if it's bigger and it's better, and it's got newer stuff, it's obviously your better buy.
Yeah. You know, the interesting thing about this comment is I would challenge this individual maybe and say, what features are better on the D850? Like, what does the D850 offer that the D750 does not offer? In terms of maybe image quality, there's different sensors, the autofocus system is different, but that's not really necessarily a deal breaker for most people, because at least for me personally, I never found the D750 to be a slack in terms of autofocus or image quality. Like, I mean, I have a huge print that was taken by my brother from the D750 at 1.4, and I printed it 20 by 30, and it looks freaking amazing. So in terms of image quality and autofocus system, sensor, everything like that, I don't know what the issue is, but, you know, whatever. So.
All right, and shout out to Steve Land, who is checking in from Detroit, Michigan.
Hey, Steve. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
I appreciate it.
All right, so let's keep on rolling it. This one I really found quite funny, you know, because, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and read it. Jacksepticeye? Oh, never mind. Of course, anybody who watches gaming, Jacksepticeye is a huge gamer who is, I think, full of energy, which we can all contribute to that, which is great. But I found it personally funny because he referenced to another YouTuber. Maybe because you who do a little bit more videos than I do are so full of energy, you know. Yeah. This one also cracks me up. This is a debate.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And let me clarify something real quick.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, for people who are so concerned about this video, or who were concerned about this video, we had someone comment like 8 times on this video.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much saying the same thing over and over and over again, which is absolutely crazy. But you know, they were calling me names and using personal insults or whatever. And okay, I get it, but. Look, guys. I mean, the reality is, look, I don't mind giving, you know, constructive criticism. That's totally fine, and I agree with that because that helps us grow and learn and, you know, make better content for our viewers. But the reality is, when you know, reduce yourself down to personal insults, like calling me a superficial vlogger, and he also called me a zombie.
Really?
Yeah, a zombie. That was his latest comment. I'm a zombie.
Oh,
so, I mean, look, constructive criticism, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Personal insults, go away. I mean,
oh boy, you're just really opening up, aren't you?
Oh
yeah. Hello to Tesla Chad, who is checking in, and yes, this is a sock that is on the mic. I had a feeling someone was going to ask about that in the first few minutes.
Only Chad would notice. Wouldn't you, Chad? Yeah. It is a sock. It's, you know. It's a sock. We don't have a puff thingamabob, so.
We spent all of our money on camera equipment.
All right, what else?
Let's see. Oh, this one. This guy, I don't know. He's like, I don't know why I'm watching this. I already know what the better camera is. And then there's another one that follows up. It's like, what a stupid title. Another one.
A stupid title that got nearly 300,000 views. Thank you.
This one, I'm not sure. This guy might be from some foreign country because he talks about euros, but here's go. He's like, slow down when saying something you find important. That's like, and then he goes on to continue, and oh, you poor back carrying a Monster Pro body that weighs 165 grams more than the D750. To give an idea how much that is, a can of Coca-Cola weighs 394 grams. Oh, you poor back.
Yeah, don't read that part.
You talk like you talk to first-time buyers. A first-time buyer would spend $3,200 or its equivalent, 3,750 euros on a Pro body. It doesn't have a pop-up flash, remember? Fact is, the D750 for around $1,200 on eBay, new, gray import, and I'm not sure where he's going with this, but the D850 is 3 times that much, but isn't 3 times better. Just go for the D750. I have 2, and I'm buying a D850 in a few months when the prices drop on eBay. So I'm thinking this guy, okay, he might have a fair point. He's looking for sales, you know. Got to watch your budget, see what you do.
And, you know, he made a really good point where he said that D850 is the bigger brother of the D750, but he also said the D850 is 3 times the price of the D750. However, it's not 3 times better than the D750. So, you know, that's what's super nice is that I agree with that statement. It all goes back to the whole better features. The D850 has quote unquote better features. I'm curious what that means and what better features there are. So, yeah. So I think that's a good comment. There was a little bit of criticism about the way I had mentioned something about the D850 is a little bit heavier and something along those lines. And so that was a little bit of sarcasm, but, you know, it's kind of funny. So I don't mind it at all.
Here's in for the comments from from Chad. It's like, now I know what to get you for Christmas.
Oh.
Commenting on the sock on the mic. All right.
Sucks.
All right, so we had a good bit of negative comments, so let's see what the positive side is to all this. Oh, actually, there's more negative that I found.
Really?
Uh-huh. Let's see. One person was saying, my philosophy to photography is get the best gear you can afford if it's your hobby. Get only moderately adequate gear if it's your job. So I'm thinking he's kind of, you know, maybe contradicting himself. Maybe has it a bit backwards. If you're doing it for your job, I think you'd get good equipment, you know, the best you can afford. But if it's just a hobby, you know, get adequate stuff, you know, if you're not going to be doing this a whole lot. I don't know, I'm still trying to kind of understand that comment.
Yeah, I'm slightly confused. Just to read it again, my philosophy to photography is get the best gear you can afford if it's your hobby. Okay, I can agree with that. Get only moderately adequate gear if it's your job. So I'm assuming only what you necessarily need is what he's referring to when he says moderately adequate gear. You know, I think, honestly, the whole divide between hobby and enthusiast and pro and whatever you want to call it, I think it's really vague. And to be completely honest, I consider myself more of a hobbyist photographer than a pro, but I do professional work at the same time. Right. So I still want to have the best gear I possibly can, as you said in the comment, or as this individual said in the comment. So, you know, I can agree with this, but yeah, the second part about getting moderately adequate gear if it's your job is slightly confusing, and I'm not quite sure where he was going with that.
Boy, comic sections. Comment. Hello to Mario, who's calling in. I think you know
Mario! How you doing, buddy? Thanks for watching.
All right, continuing on with the mean comments. All right, let's not kid ourselves. 99.99% of your clients won't notice the difference between a Tamron 24-70 and a Nikkor 24-70. The only reason you want to upgrade to the latter is that you have a pair of trained eyes and have noticed the tiny difference. Not because the client's feedbacks have forced you to. Same goes for camera bodies. And another one that might be tied to it is like, in another word, the fastest way to turn profit into the photography business is not to overestimate your client's expectations. Do that, and you'll have a much more reasonable spending habit on your business. Upgrade your skills before upgrading your gear. So,
that's a fair point.
Yeah, it is a fair point.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a bad photographer and you have a $6,000 D5, that camera's not going to matter if you're a bad photographer, you know. So definitely work on your skills, and that's kind of what we did. We got the D65 or not D65. What do we get? D7100s. Mm-hmm. You actually started with the D3000.
Yeah, I did actually. I started with the D3000, and then about, I don't know, maybe a year later, after the 3000, I got the 7100, and now I'm with the 750.
Yep.
Which I'm completely love.
Exactly. And so that's the thing is like you've worked on your skills, and with those skills, upgrading your skills, if you will, you've also upgraded your gear to fit your needs, right? And so that's really what it comes down to. If the camera fits your needs and it works for your workflow, then you're good. Then so I don't think there's really any issues in terms of that. I think it's a great comment. I think they made some great points.
All right, so another one we have here. He said, this person says, really, an apples and oranges comparison. So I think it's another person who's going between the two. 4 years old versus a new release. $3,300 versus $1,800. Remember that the movie record button on the D750 can be programmed as the ISO button, making that a non-issue, still activates movie. Keep in mind, many photographers are leaving DSLR for mirrorless primary due to size and weight. D750 is the smallest and lightest full-frame DSLR. Old Canon 6D is close. Those on the fence with mirrorless may appreciate knowing that. Okay, so I think this did come out a little bit before we did that. That you did that mirrorless camera review.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it was going close to that.
Yeah. Let's talk about that for a minute. Let's break this down a little bit. 4-year-old camera versus a new release camera. Okay, here's the thing, right?
Kind of like a wear and tear thing. It depends on how much you use it, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the biggest thing is, for me at least, the year, how old the camera is doesn't really matter. If it has a great sensor in it and it works and it gets the job done, then you're good. I mean, it's nice to have the newer cameras that have the newer features and all that type of stuff, as someone else commented before. But, there's still people using stuff like, what is it? Film. People are still using film cameras, I mean, to this day. So age is kind of a, I don't know if I go there when trying to make an argument for a camera. It's maybe more critical for digital cameras, but not necessarily film and other cameras like that. So he also said, as far as mirrorless goes, it's lighter, it's smaller. Not really, actually, at least in my experience. I've used different mirrorless cameras within the past few months. I've used the Z7, the Nikon Z7, A7 III, and I've also used Panasonic GH5, GH4, all that type of stuff as well before. And I really, honestly, they were very... I really didn't notice the difference in terms of weight. They were all pretty heavy cameras, especially when you put big glass on them, heavy glass. They were all... So the whole gap between mirrorless and DSLRs, there's really not much of a gap, in my opinion. So
I want to say thank you to the people who letting us know that our stream looks and sounds great, which is better than last time we had stream. Last time was...
They said it looked and sounded like crap.
kind of a disaster.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
That's Mario. Thanks, Mario. Love you, buddy.
All right. Let's see. A thing to point out is the D850's wireless built-in radio flash transmitter for the SB5000. I'm not sure what he's referencing to there, but...
it's a flash.
Okay. He goes on to say, this is a significant pro feature that Nikon has lacked until D500, the D5, and the D850. This is why they ditched the pop-up flash. Canon has offered this for a long time, and Nikon is just now catching up. Everyone is moving away from optical triggers due to the line of sight restrictions. So what do you have to say to that one?
I think he's right. I mean, he makes some good points there, or she or whoever it is, yeah.
All right, let's look at some positive.
Oh, good. We need some after some of those comments.
All right, one of them was, this is the best review for these two cameras. Allows me to make an informed decision.
Thank you very much.
Another one was like, excellent explanation. I will keep my D750. Another one. I really enjoyed the video. I'm still learning DSLR and I shoot primarily military aviation photography. Fast moving planes, low light conditions, 500mm lens due to the distance of the planes. I use a D7100 now, but I want to upgrade to the D750, D850. And he says, well, of course, what you recommend? And of course, there's always that.
Real quickly on that, thank you for your comment. Let me just say, this is what our channel's all about right here, is this comment where he explains what he does and he's asking for advice, and we're not claiming to be experts or anything like that. But what I appreciate is that he open up, like, this is what I do, this is what I like to shoot, you know, all this. This is what our channel's all about, is learning together, helping people, and just all, you know, having fun while we're doing it, you know. As far as recommendation between the D750 and D850, honestly, I would just go with the D850, because I know it's going to cost a lot, but you can get the battery grip and use the D5's battery in it and get 9 frames a second, which would be awesome for shooting your planes and all that. So definitely check out the D850 if you haven't already. So yeah, do that for sure.
I find it interesting, you know, that this particular person is actually doing this kind of photography, you know. I find it pretty cool that he's actually shooting fast moving planes, you know. Let's see. Another one, I love the D850. Another one, good video. Another one here, I think this person might be Australian. Well, let's just see. And he says, your reviews was indeed very much helpful, because I just started into wedding photography, so I wanted to get a camera, not making a big hole in my pocket. And yeah, that gets the job done with exceptional photo quality. Big shout out, mate.
Right on.
Right on.
Right on.
Let's see. Good info, bro. Like this video. Great video. Very comprehensive and educational. I like the idea that it was not biased. Thank you. Finally.
Yeah. Nothing biased about it. Just being honest.
Another one. A good review. I use two D750s for weddings, and it's solid. And have set the video record button on top for the ISO control, so much easier than the one on the back.
Yep.
So that's pretty much it for the comments on that video. I mean, I'm sure we can find more in other videos.
Yep.
But I want to kind of go back now to our videos leading up to today. So, of course we did one of the biggest ones I wanted you to get your reaction on was photography gear does matter. That, to me, was kind of another controversial video like the one with the D850, but it didn't really have that much comments on it. But yeah, gear really does matter, you know. We had a big discussion on that. It's like, you can get a great body, but, you know, kit lens, you know, and vice versa, and whichever way matters. But in the end, it just overall goes for quality. And, you know, sometimes you have to drop the extra buck to get it, but if you want good photos, you know, sometimes you have to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Let me just make a comment on that. The thing is, I agree with you 100%. And look, the reason I did that video is because I see a lot of popular photographers, whether it be on YouTube or just in general, they're going, you know, the gear doesn't matter. It's all about your skills. It's all about, you know, how good you are and what you practice and, you know, how you use the camera. Well, that's true. I mean, I don't disagree with that necessarily. Obviously, like I said earlier, you have to have skills. Otherwise, your camera's not going to matter. But the thing is, your gear does matter. And for people to make the argument, you can get a just as good picture out of a D3400 compared to the D850. It's just plain wrong. I mean, there's reasons why you pay $600 for the D3400 and $3,200 for the D850. I mean, there's very clear reasons for that. And so it's not saying you can't get good photos out of the D35 or 3400, but the reality is you're going to get better photos with a more expensive pro camera. I mean, that's just common sense. You know, the more, you know, it's like computers. The more you spend on a computer with different specs and whatever, the better the computer's going to run, the better it's going to, you know, process things and all that. So it's pretty much the same thing with cameras.
And there's another video I wanted to kind of go into that's kind of similar to that. It's the one where you're talking about the $4,000 plus Pro Nikon D850 versus the iPhone 8 Plus.
That was a fun one.
Oh, I'm sure. Now, obviously, there's a major difference between shooting with a phone versus a camera. I mean, with the phone, you can only do so much. And it's like that thing I was saying in the last stream, you know, with the phone, you got all those little filters and stuff. I mean, that's great and all for, like, you know, posting on the media and stuff, but that's not real photography. Which kind of goes along the lines in our very first live stream, well, where it's like everybody's not a photographer, you know, because major difference between phone and, of course, the camera.
Yeah.
And filters and all.
You know, once again, you can get good pictures with your phone. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is there are clear, distinct differences between that and a dedicated camera, and they're going to become more and more obvious, especially as you go into tougher lighting situations and all that. So, you know, that's just the reality.
I'm just looking through our videos here. There's another one where you were talking about how to look good for your photo shoots. That one, I'm sure, was a pretty fun one. Let's see if there was any actual comments on that. It had 123 views, which is pretty good.
It's not bad,
Oh, lo and behold, no comments.
Oh. That's okay.
That's okay, yeah. Some of the, oh, there's so many videos, you know. Another big one, where you did the Nikon D850 versus the Nikon Z7. That had 52 comments on that.
We got very similar comments to the D850 versus D750 video, so.
Yeah. People are like, oh, cameras, they're just toys for man's hobbies and stuff. Not really. Okay, so let's get off the videos for a while. I think we had enough feedback on that for that right now. So, let's talk about experiences. So I kind of want to throw you for a curve.
Okay.
Let's go back. Let's say, I think this was in early February, maybe, or March or May, somewhere right around there is early spring. We did a outdoor wedding. And it was a small, nice venue.
Yeah. Are you talking about?
Yeah, that over in Carbondale.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that for a second. Let's talk about that experience. That was our best wedding that we ever had. Everything was working out pretty well for us, you know, despite it being cold and everything. That was probably our best wedding, and it's because everything ran smoothly, you know. I like best about it, particularly when we got to the part where the bride and the groom had their first kiss. That was the best because we had so many different angles to work with. You know, I kind of wish we had more people, you know, to get every single angle and aspect. But that was I believe, one of my best well-shot photos. I have to say it for myself. If I had to review my photos, I'd say that particular moment was one of my best shots that I've ever did because everything came out clear as possible. I took several consecutive shots that just all ran perfect. Like, they only need minor details, but most of them, I mean, in fact, all of them were in focus. And you know, with that, when it comes to kiss, you always shoot several shots because you're never going to get that moment again. And guaranteed 50-50. Half of them are going to be good, half of them are going to be bad, you know. So, what was your experience there at that wedding? How did things go for you?
I loved that wedding. That was my heart. We mostly shoot portraits, and so, but we do weddings as well, and we really do enjoy that work. You know, the thing that I found extremely interesting about that wedding was how organized it actually was. You know, a lot of times the thing is, when we are doing weddings and whatever, you know, it's not organized, or the bride, you know, she may not know what's going on, or, you know, whatever. But anyway, so the thing was, this was so organized. Everybody knew where they were supposed to be at the right time. We had such awesome cooperation with, you know, people and whatever. And so I just really enjoyed it. The lighting was beautiful. We had a lot of window lighting. I mean, just awesome. It was a little cool, but it wasn't that cold. So it was pretty nice weather as well. And then once we did the ballroom pictures, I was very pleased with how our pictures turned out. We used flash. I'm not a big flash person, and neither are you, I know. So I thought we did very well. I was very pleased with that wedding. I agree with you. It was probably the best wedding we've ever done. So, you know, that's really exciting. And maybe someday we can show those pictures on a live and just kind of talk about wedding photography or something, you know. CJ, what's our time at right now?
35 minutes.
35 minutes. All right, we got 10 minutes left.
10 minutes.
Give us some counts when we're getting close.
Oh, I gotta get them all over. Yeah, I was really worried about that wedding, you know, because once we got to the reception inside, the lights really went low. And of course, they put a bunch of can lights that were purplish, so I was really worried a couple of solid purple pictures, you know. But the flash really compensated for that and made everything turn out beautiful.
Yep.
All right, let's see what else I got. So along those lines, a long wedding, let's go to a portrait session. Let's kind of talk about how those kind of roll. So, this is how a typical one usually goes for us. We go on site, we meet up with the person, or the client, I should say, not person, and then we talk to them about, kind of go over what kind of shots they want, you know, what kind of background, all the poses and kind of stuff like that, and then of course we go to on set on different locations there, and we kind of trade off back and forth, you know. Some of our earlier shoots, it was both of us shooting from different angles, you know, and things like that. And now it's moved to both of us shooting, and now me doing some behind the scenes work, you know. We get some behind the scenes photos, some behind the scenes footage, so we can make kind of like a compilation of that to throw into a video sometime soon, you know. And I've had a lot of fun with that, you know. I like a lot with the behind the scenes video. I try to kind of get creative shots, you know. This most recent one we did, that was a little tough, you know, because it was getting really cold out. But I just remembered on that day, the sun coming in through the leaves was perfect.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the lighting was beautiful.
The lighting was great at that session. I really did enjoy it. It was just an awesome session to shoot. The couple was really fun to work with. Beautiful people inside and out. I mean, just incredible people. And we just had a good time shooting, and their pictures turned out, to me, one of the best sessions we've done today. I mean, just awesome. Awesome lighting, awesome reactions, awesome facial expressions, awesome poses, etc., etc. The whole thing was just awesome. I loved it.
So what else can you add to how our flow is during a portrait session?
Yeah, so typically when we're doing portrait sessions, we are communicating with the clients like, hey, if there's any specific poses you want, please send us some picture examples so we can kind of work with those and see what you like. And then also what we do is basically once we get there, we kind of introduce ourselves. We talk to the client, say, you know, this is how long the photos are going to take to be delivered. This is what's going on here. This is what we do in order to get the photos the way we want them. We just, you know, communicate with them and give them some explanations as to how the business works and how, you know, the whole process of the session works. And we really want to make the session an experience for them, not just, oh, we're taking pictures, but, oh, this was fun and we had a good time doing it. And so that's kind of one of the biggest things about our sessions is that we do try to have them walk away with a smile on their face and hope they enjoyed themselves, you know, and that's pretty much our sessions. And then, of course, once we are done with the session, we will back up the files on our computer, the raw files, take them home, start getting editing, retouching, all that. So that's pretty much our workflow for sessions, portraits, and weddings, of course.
Right. I think the best part for me is the after effect when we get the feedback from them. I think that's what really makes my day for the most. Yeah. I mean, other than enjoying our time on the set with the client and everything, for me, the best thing is the feedback from the client, telling us how we did in their review and how they feel about it. All right, so we got about 5 minutes left. So to close it out, I kind of want to talk about our plans for 2019. I know a lot of you are wondering when I'm going to begin on YouTube, you know. I'm planning on trying to save up for, you know, a camera that, you know, I can do autofocusing on myself and I can do my own videos. I kind of wanted to start a blog for our channel and kind of do like like we're doing now, you know, person to person type thing with one-on-one with our fans. Yeah, I want to get out there. You know, it's still gonna be a little challenge with school and everything, but yeah, I plan on getting out there. So hope to see you next year.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, totally. Kind of the same thing for me. You know, we're both working hard to try to grow the channel. You know, get it to the point where we're happy with it right now, but we want to get it even better, get more subscribers, more view counts, all of that. And we ultimately just want to help people, as we said at the beginning, give them somewhere where they can come back, learn some things, watch some gear reviews, all that. We enjoy doing those as well. 2019 is going to be a big year. Obviously, as we said, we're hoping to keep growing our channel. Unfortunately, we didn't reach our goal. I said 50,000 subscribers about 7 or 8 months ago. Of course, we're barely at 2,000, but that's okay. You know what? We're still growing and we're still pleased with that. But for me, 2020 is going to be the big year for us because we are going to be going to Photo Plus 2020 in New York City. And we're super excited for that. We hope to meet you there. And of course, as that date and stuff comes closer, we'll be doing videos on it, talking about, you know, what we're going to be doing. And of course, we're going to try to give some coverage from the convention to give some people some, you know, interesting first looks at new gear and new things as well. Maybe get some interviews with some popular YouTubers and photographers too. I don't know. But we hope to see you there. We were originally going to go in 2019, but I said I have other plans. I can't make it 2019. So 2020 is the year you and I are both going to Photo Plus in New York City. So we're super excited about that.
Yeah, plus they'll give us the 2019 year to actually save up for the trip. Exactly. Instead of doing like everything last minute like a lot of people do nowadays.
Yeah, that's true.
So we hope you've enjoyed our live stream today, and not today, it's actually night.
Well, maybe today somewhere.
Somewhere in the world, yeah. So that's our live stream. It's been a great fun time for me actually hosting, and I'm gonna be completely honest, I literally made all this up on the spot because I actually never hosted before and didn't have any actually planned materials, so it's kind of great improvising. I kind of like doing it a lot. It's kind of my thing. But yeah, we've hoped you've enjoyed our live stream. Hope you've learned something from it, enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you in other videos. Keep up with the comments. Let us know your thoughts, what you'd like to see us to do, and we'll just try to keep getting videos out there. So that's it for tonight. I'm Josh.
And I'm Belingle.
All right, Belingle out.